show that a major sexual dysfunction affecting 5 to 17% of women in Nigeria is vaginismus. Vaginismus is a primary cause of infertility, and it is responsible for feelings of frustration and inadequacy between a couple. Hello, Saints. Welcome to another one-of-a-kind episode of Catholic Faith Forum. I'm Evelyn, and on today's episode, we shall be discussing how to deal with vaginismus. Participating in this discussion is a very special guest I cannot wait to introduce to you. But till we return from this break, stay with us.
Most of us worry about being physically fit and our physical well-being. That's fine. But the real question is this: are we spiritually fit? Listen, it is important to take care of our body, yes, but at the same time, we need to nurture our hearts and our souls by practices like meditation and prayers. As a computer science student like me, the balance between my physical and spiritual health has helped me in my cognitive thinking and especially in problem solving. So I ask you to try and create that balance between your physical health and your spiritual health to have a better and healthy lifestyle. Thank you.
Welcome back, Saints. To those who are new to our show, this is Catholic Faith Forum. I'm Evelyn, and on today's episode, our discussion is centered on how to deal with vaginismus. It's my deepest pleasure to introduce to you my very special guest, in person of Miss Prisca Obichere.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you're here, and we're going to have a very, very insightful conversation. You guys, anticipate. Okay. Miss Prisca Obichere is a nurse, midwife, and lecturer at the College of Nursing, Lagos University Teaching Hospital. She also works in Lagos State University Teaching Hospital as an assistant chief nursing officer. She loves singing, cooking, and reading. She is currently the secretary of Catholic Nurses Guild, Lagos Archdiocese. Woo!
Thank you for having me yet again. It's always a pleasure being
You look
here.
radiant.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you sure you're not competing?
Not looking bad either.
All right, about this cooking.
Wow.
Let's hear something about it.
I knew you would pick interest in that aspect.
Obviously. What's your favorite food to cook?
I love just local dishes. I am not I'm not a fan of baking or continental dishes. I just love making local dishes. I enjoy doing them, and I love healthy foods. Of course, I'm a nurse. I teach about healthy food,
Nurses are great. All right, so let's get to our discussion.
All right.
Can you tell us about vaginismus?
Okay, vaginismus is actually a condition, a sexual dysfunction whereby the vagina goes into spasm each time the woman wants to have intercourse or go through medical examination or gynecological examinations. So this makes it painful, difficult, or even impossible for intercourse to take place or for the gynecological examination to take place. So the vagina walls actually go into spasm, and this spasm cannot be controlled. So when this happens, the lumen, of course, the vagina is a tube.
Okay.
The lumen reduces, so making it difficult or painful or even impossible for the woman to have intercourse.
Wow.
Yes. It could be primary, it could be secondary. Primary in the sense that there has never been any kind of penetration into the vagina or medical examination. Or the woman, the very first time she's exposed to intercourse or gynecological examinations, the vagina was going into spasm. Yes. Secondary also in the sense as a woman who has been having a normal sexual relationship in the past suddenly develops vaginismus. And this usually stems from a specific cause, maybe infections.
Okay.
It could be trauma. It could even be childbirth.
Wow.
Yes, it could be childbirth. So that is all I can say about vaginismus.
I know this is a sexual dysfunction that is less talked about. People are not really open to, say such things. But now that you make mention of it, could this be inherited from parents to offspring?
Almost every condition
Yeah.
has a genetic influence. So vaginismus also tends toward that. It could run in the family, but not all
Okay.
the cases. In most cases, it is actually maybe emotional factors that cause it. Yes, it could have a physical cause, but
Yes.
psychologically also.
Wow.
It can also, and people don't talk about it so openly. You know, women don't
than
discuss their sexuality
Yes.
openly like that because of the stigma attached to it.
Wow.
Yes.
So now that we know that vaginismus could originate from, emotional trauma and
Yes.
all. So what, aside from, gynecological examinations, what other way can a person diagnose vaginismus?
It is actually from history.
Okay.
History of painful or difficult penetration during intercourse or during vaginal examination, or even if she wants to insert a tampon. You know, tampon is an alternative to sanitary pads when a woman is menstruating.
Yes.
So the woman could either find it difficult to insert a tampon,
yes,
or have difficulty in having sexual intercourse. Yes.
So for an individual that has vaginismus as a result of a psychological condition, how would such an individual be treated?
Okay, fortunately, vaginismus can adequately be treated. So the woman can return to her normal sexual functions. Yes, but she has to seek help. Yes, it is not a condition that you deal with all by yourself or the partner deals with all by themselves. It is a condition that one has to seek help, counseling and all that, because she has to gradually be desensitized from whatever trauma that she has passed through in the past or that is causing that condition. So she has to be decentralized. So counseling goes a long way. So whether the cause is physical or psychological, counseling goes a long way in treating them.
So would counseling be combined with medications?
Yes, there could be. Yes, there are some medications that could be used to combat. So fortunately, it is a condition that can adequately be taken care of. It can be cured and the woman can return to her normal sexual activities.
So I would like you to shed more light on how vaginismus can actually be caused from childbirth.
Some people, after having their first child, the fear of having, fear of pushing that baby or all the examinations that a woman in labor has to go through and all that, labor is painful, of course, we know. So she may be afraid of getting pregnant again. Yes. So that is one of the negative. Of course, we know that every woman after childbirth forgets about her ordeal in the labor room. But in some cases, very rare cases, you see some women still having especially if that pregnancy was not planned for. If that pregnancy was actually, came from circumstances. So the fear of getting pregnant again could actually be a cause, can make her go into fear and then send the vaginal walls into spasm and the pelvic muscles.
Interesting. But let's take a break.
All right.
Let's find out who the saint of the week is. We'll be right back.
All right.
Our saint of the week is Blessed Antoine Frederick Hosanna. Hosanna. Anyway, Blessed Frederick was born in Milan on 23rd April 1813. At 18, Frederick, in defense of the faith, wrote Reflections sur la doctrine de Saint Simon. Later, he studied law in Paris and lived for 18 months with the illustrious physician Ampere. He became a prey of doubt. He said, "God gave me the grace to be born in the faith. Later, the confusion of an unbelieving world surrounded me. I knew all the horror of the doubts that torment the soul. It was then that the instructions of a priest and philosopher, Abbe Noirot, saved me. I believed thenceforth with an assured faith, and touched by so rare a goodness, I promised God to devote my life to the services of the truth which He had given me peace." Rarely was a promise more faithfully fulfilled. In 1838, he submitted his thesis on Dante for his doctorate in letters. His defense was a success. In 1846, he visited Italy to regain his strength as he was down with a fever. On his return, he published some works, including the greatest of his works, La civilisation chrétienne chez les Francs. Please accept my French. The Academy of Inscriptions awarded him the Grand Prix Gobert for 2 successive years. In 1852, he made a short journey to Spain. In the beginning of the next year, his doctors again sent him to Italy, but he returned to Marseilles to die. When the priest urged him to have confidence in God, he replied, "Oh, why should I fear God whom I love so much?" Complying with his desire, the government allowed him to be interred in the crypt of the Carmes. Ozanam was untiring in energy, had a rare gift for precision and historical insight, and at the same time a naturalness in his verse and a spontaneous, pleasing eloquence, all the more charming because of his frankness. Frederick Ozanam was beatified by Pope John Paul II on August 22nd, 1997. He was a smart one. And so we say, Blessed Frederick Ozanam, pray for us. Welcome back, Saints. Our discussion is still centered on how to deal with vaginismus. And just before the break, Ma, you were shedding more light on how vaginismus could be, it could originate from childbirth.
Yes.
So this fear of getting pregnant or this fear of going through labor again, it will still be through counseling that such a woman can.
Of course.
Wow.
Of course. She can benefit from counseling a lot, yes. Counseling goes a long way in making her realize that pregnancy is not a disease. It is not something that will kill her. Pregnancy actually results in something joyful. So she should look beyond the pain that she feels during pregnancy or during labor and look at the joy that comes after that.
Wow. Let's talk about the observable signs of vaginismus. For a young lady who has not given birth or who has not been in any sexual relationship as such, how would she know that she has vaginismus?
There are no observable features of vaginismus.
Really?
I mean, you cannot look at a lady and say this one has vaginismus or she will have vaginismus. The only observable thing I would say is it is the woman that will observe it herself. Maybe if she needs to go through any gynecological examination or wants to insert like a tampon, that is before she is exposed to sexual intercourse, then she sees that it is difficult to insert those, either the instruments or the tampon. So if the vaginal walls go into spasm and she cannot insert those, then she will know that she has vaginismus. But you can't look at someone as a woman or a lady and say this one has vaginismus. So you cannot really say. It is what the woman says she is experiencing that will make you know.
That's why you pointed out that medical history is actually really
Yes, medical history. That's actually how you diagnose it. History of having painful intercourse or having painful difficulty, in penetration and so on and so. That history is what actually gives you the insight into the problem.
Wow. So on marital relationship, what would be the impact of a partner having vaginismus?
Of course, it can be frustrating for a woman to have vaginismus in marriage because it gives her this feeling of inadequacy in performing her marital roles. So it is actually something that no woman wants to pass through. Of course, you know that intercourse is like the highest form of love or physical attraction between a man and his wife. So it impacts on marriage, especially if they don't know what to do about it or how to get help concerning the condition. So it can actually make the woman feel frustrated and less adequate in her marriage.
But what if she's unable to, speak up to her husband?
Exactly. So communication, that is where communication comes into marriage. A woman going through this condition should be able to communicate to her partner. And her partner, on the other hand, has to support her. Because it is better they carry the burden together. It is better they go through it together. The woman responds better with treatment, knowing that her partner is there to support her. So that is what they should do. And then while they are doing it, they should also seek help.
Now, if I get you
Yes.
correctly, understanding is actually important.
Understanding is
because if the
important.
man is not patient enough, the pressure will be
Yes.
too much on the woman.
It
She's
will be
already
too-
feeling inadequate.
Yes, and
Then,
it will even worsen the condition because it will increase her anxiety
oh,
each time she's exposed to sex. Each time the man, demands for sex, the woman
Yeah.
will have, will I be able to perform? Will I be able to satisfy
Yeah.
him? And that tension increases. So as long as the tension increases, it worsens the condition.
wow.
Yeah, so all they just need to do is to seek help.
So for individuals who believe that before marriage, let's test ourselves, let's see these things before, we go into the main thing. What would you say to such individuals? Because vaginismus between a couple, it's known after they have gotten married, and
Yes.
they are at that point.
Yes.
Yeah. So for an individual that is thinking, let me test my partner.
Of course, the church does not encourage you to test. Like you want to test your partner. What if it goes wrong? Or what if you don't find what you actually wanted to? And that's a mentality that I am going to pass some kind of test. I'm going for a particular, test. Let me just, I have to prove myself worthy of this marriage. I have to prove myself worthy of this man. That can make her tensed. And it can actually give her vaginismus.
Wow.
When she shouldn't have had it at all. So it is wrong for you to say, oh, you want to test this person. The church preaches against fornication. It preaches against adultery. So we do not encourage us. And I, for one, will not even recommend for anybody to be testing her partner. But it kind of reduces the woman's dignity, in my opinion. For a man to say he wants to test me and see if I will be able to perform after marriage. I mean, that kind of reduces my personality, sort of. So I think we should just wait until the right time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, let's go on another break. Let's meet with our Know Your Faith crew for the Know Your Faith session. Over to you.
Hi guys, welcome to another enlightening episode of Know Your Faith. My name is Jeffrey, and today on the show we will be answering the question, is the rosary in the Bible? Now a lot of non-Catholics have this question, so before I continue, pause this and send to all your friends who have questions. Now let's continue. The Catechism of the Catholic Church in paragraph 971 describes the rosary as the epitome of the entire gospel. Now this is because all the mysteries of the rosary are centered around the life of Christ. The rosary contains mysteries. Now these mysteries are summed up into 4. They are 1. The joyful mysteries, 2. The luminous mysteries, 3. The sorrowful mysteries, and 4. The glorious mysteries. The joyful mysteries are 1. The Annunciation of the birth of Christ, as seen in Luke's Gospel chapter 1 verses 26 to 38. 2. The visitation of Mary to Elizabeth, as seen in Luke chapter 1 verses 39 to 56. 3. The birth of Christ, as seen in Luke chapter 2 verse 7. 4. The presentation of Christ in the temple, as seen in Luke chapter 2 verses 23 to 24. And 5. The finding of the child Jesus in the temple, as recorded in Luke's Gospel chapter 2 verses 41 to 47. Now the luminous mysteries are 1. The baptism of Christ, as seen in Mark chapter 1 verses 9 to 11. 2. The wedding at Cana, as seen in John chapter 2 verses 1 to 12. 3. The proclamation of the kingdom of God, as recorded in Mark chapter 1 verse 15. 4. The transfiguration, as seen in Matthew chapter 17 verses 1 to 8. And 5. The institution of the Holy Eucharist, as seen in Mark chapter 14 verses 12 to 25. Now the sorrowful mysteries are 1. The agony in the garden. This is seen in Matthew's Gospel chapter 26 verses 36 to 39. 2. The scourging at the pillar. John chapter 19 verses 1 to 3. 3. The crowning with thorns. This is recorded in Matthew chapter 27 verse 29. 4. The carrying of the cross. Matthew chapter 27 verses 31 to 33. And 5. The crucifixion and death of our Lord Jesus Christ, as seen in Mark's Gospel, chapter 15, verses 21 to 41. Finally, the glorious mysteries are: 1. The resurrection of Christ. This is seen in Luke's Gospel, chapter 24, verses 6 to 7. 2. The ascension of Christ into heaven. Luke chapter 24, verse 51. 3. The descent of the Holy Spirit on the apostles. Acts chapter 2, verses 1 to 4. 4. The Assumption of Mary. Now, this is not described in the Bible, but this is an essential part of the sacred tradition of the church, which has been passed on to us from the apostles. 5. The coronation of Mary as Queen of Heaven and Earth. This is recorded in Revelation chapter 12, verse 1. Now, from the above mysteries, we can see that the rosary can be seen to contain the life of Christ, and thus, it is in the Bible. Thanks for watching, guys. Like I said at the start of the video, please share these videos to your friends. Until next time, be bold, be Catholic.
Welcome back, Saints. Our discussion is still centered on how to deal with vaginismus. You know you are not late yet because we are not done. All right, so just before the break, you were shedding more light on the fact that vaginismus is something that can strain a relationship between a couple, and understanding, communication is required. Support is really, really required.
Exactly.
So about the Catholic faith, how does it seek to provide guidance and support for individuals that are facing challenges like vaginismus?
The church has a provision for its members at every stage of their development.
Okay.
Like we have the MCA, the youths, the couples. So people go through marriage course before they get married. Those counselors that take them on that marriage course, I think they treat a lot of things.
Okay.
Yes, a lot of conditions. They can actually go to one or of those counselors for help, especially those that are medically inclined into the condition. No, they shouldn't feel ashamed of approaching them. And the church also, there is what we call NAPRO technology in the church. Yes, natural procreation.
Okay.
NAPRO technology is like a substitute or an alternative to IVF. Of course, the church is against IVF, and NAPRO technology is a good, if not better, alternative to IVF.
Okay.
NAPRO technology does not only help couples to achieve pregnancy, it takes care of every aspect of a woman's reproductive life.
Wow.
During assessments, they can even diagnose future conditions in the woman and treat it.
That's amazing.
Yes. However, the practitioners are few in the church now, and that's why we advocate people, medical practitioners, to come out for training so that we'll have more practitioners to provide such services. So such couple can actually access that kind of guidance from NAPRO technology providers to help them out.
Wow.
Yeah, so those are the ways that the church can help or has made put things in place to help couples that are undergoing such challenges.
Wow, I feel like awareness is required.
Awareness is required, yes. Awareness is required.
Wow. So let's talk about the way a couple can actually have a strong and faith-centered connection when they are faced with such a challenge.
Yes.
How can they do it?
Couples should stand by each other and then communicate. Your communication is essential in every relationship.
Yeah.
So marriage is one of them. The woman should not be ashamed, like I said earlier, shouldn't be ashamed of communicating her challenges to her partner. And her partner should also support her, because knowing that he is there standing by her gives her a lot of courage and makes her to go through the treatment more effectively. The treatment doesn't take time, depending on the course and depending on how the woman, on the kind of support the woman gets.
True.
So they should support each other in this case and seek help. Yes, seeking help is the ultimate, because if you don't seek help, of course, the problem will just linger on.
Yeah.
So they have to seek help while supporting each other, because the woman does better knowing that she has the right social supports around her.
Wow.
Yes, so that is what couples should do to each other.
I believe they should
yes,
pray together.
they should pray together. So it is the contrary will be when the man starts blaming his wife for not being able to perform her roles as a married woman and so on and so forth. So he shouldn't blame her. Instead, he should seek support or care or help with his wife.
Wow.
Yes.
As regards prayer, is there any specific Catholic prayer they should say?
Well, I wouldn't say there is a specific prayer. The church has a lot of prayers for various intentions.
Okay.
So couples can just take one that is applicable to them. There are prayers for families, prayers for couples and all that. However, as an individual, when I'm faced with difficulties like that, I run to a mother of perpetual help. Yes, and she has always come through for me.
Wow.
Yes, so a prayer made in faith, you have to make that prayer in faith. Each time I call on our mother of perpetual help in faith, she comes through for me. So that's saying that no one goes to her, or that anyone who runs to her for protection, for guidance, never goes unaided is actually true. So couples can also borrow a leaf from that and run to a mother of perpetual help while seeking medical attention. Yes.
Wow, that's a very valid point, because people say that Mary, our mother, she's like the closest to God. So as we speak to her, she speaks right into the ears of God.
Yes, I believe that there is nothing she asks her son that she doesn't get. So that is the faith, the belief I have whenever I call upon her.
Have you encountered any patient or individual that has battled with vaginismus and they have, gotten to the end?
Women don't really talk about it freely. What I hear them say is that I have actually seen a woman who told me, I have never attained orgasm in my marriage. And I said, why haven't you attained orgasm? So when I examined her, when I took history from her, it was that she didn't have enough foreplay before intercourse. And that, again, can be another cause of vaginismus, inadequate foreplay. So the man should be able to, so this couple actually needs counseling on how to actually prepare each other for sex, because the activity doesn't just start and end on the bed. Yes, it's something that started long before that. So the man should know what to do to make his wife feel comfortable.
Wow.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for, contribute everything you have just said. Everything was insightful. And, I am enlightened. You watching us, you are enlightened. And since it's something that we have said, it has been talked about, people should not feel ashamed.
Yes,
please seek medical help. And then to couples that are struggling with vaginismus, support is really important. Communication is really important. Seeking counseling, medical help is really important. And above all, seeking the help of our mother of perpetual help, is important.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ma, for coming on the show and for watching this, and for, for sharing your thoughts and your wisdom with us. And thanks to you too for staying connected. If you did not stay, we are here for you. All right, please drop your questions and contributions in the comment section below. Follow us on our YouTube channel at Dominican Media and at CFF on TV on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I remain Evelyn Iwoha, and until next time, keep these saints in jeans and shirts. Bye for now.
Bye.